Artie? Artie.
You know how I have to evaluate each teacher each semester?
Mm-hmm.
I'm evaluating.
Next, we divide both sides by 2 to... Happens then, the dog...
Hey there, human beings. I'm S1E1 and welcome to Smitty Reviews. This time, joined by
Jennifer.
my girlfriend. She forgot her name. And today we're reviewing Fear the Walking Dead. Now this is going to be a fun one because I've been watching Dead for like 3 years. So I jumped in at like season 3 or 4. And I was never really about it. We love Game of Thrones. I got you onto Game of Thrones, like episode 3, season 1, so you've been watching that from week to week. That sucks. But Walking Dead, I've been on it. I've been enjoying it since I jumped on back in season 3. And every single time I'm watching it, you always have some shit to say about how stupid fucking Walking Dead is. So finally I convinced her to, hey, there's this new show coming out. It's a spin-off. It's not those characters. It's a new beginnings. It's before the zombie outbreak happens. Let's watch that together. And you're about it. You surprisingly enough said that you were totally about it.
Yeah, it said I would give it a chance.
Yeah. So first of all, before you get into the review of the episode, I want to know what made you interested in jumping into this show. Because you vehemently hated Walking Dead, and then you were just like, yeah, let's fucking do Fear the Walking Dead together. And I was like, I didn't understand it. So what made you want to jump in?
I guess just the fact that it is so popular and that I'm not interested in it. And I figured, if the show is so popular and I gave that one a chance, like if it's made by the same people, the spinoff is made by the same people, I'm like, I'll give it a chance. I'm usually really open with watching new shows. Like most of the time, whenever you come to me and there's a new show you want to watch, I'll usually always watch the pilot with you.
Yeah.
And I'll watch the first 2 or 3 episodes. Always takes me a few of the first episodes to really get into it. So I think that might have been it, and just we need a new show. Never have seen
we don't have anything else to watch, so I'll watch Fear the Walking Dead with you. Okay.
I'll give it a chance. I think I'm just open about it.
Okay, fair enough. Well then, we're gonna jump right into this thing, and we had a pretty good time watching it. Now, I was looking over at you, babe, while we were watching to see, is she enjoying this? And you were into it.
Yeah.
You were totally, you were sucked in. And there was one moment towards, it was the middle, the third quarter of the episode, and I was like, oh, is this the cutting shot? Is that it? And I was way early. There was a whole another 20 minutes left. And you're like, nah, babe, we're just getting into it.
Yeah.
So, it was a ride. So, let's start from the very beginning. How did you, overall, what were your thoughts on this episode? How did you enjoy it?
So I actually really enjoyed it. I liked it way more than I thought I would. I really like that the characters are a family. I think I know I can't speak much for Walking Dead because I'm not really into it.
You don't know the story, but you've seen episodes. You kind of know what it is.
Yeah. I mainly don't like it is because there are just so many characters in that one story. Game of Thrones has a lot of different characters and it's a bunch of different stories.
Right.
I just think that there's so many characters and
you don't know where they came from, how they got together.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like they just they even admitted in the Talking Dead that they literally kill people off when their story is done. So basically they're like, whatever, we don't need you anymore, we'll just kill you off. We don't have anything else to tell about you and we'll just bring someone else on. I don't know, I think it's kind of...
I get that. I get why you wouldn't like that.
So I really liked that in Fear the Walking Dead that it was a family. So they also had different age groups. I feel like all the people in... I know there are some younger characters in The Walking Dead, but the main character is a younger guy that I like. I can relate more to him. And I also really liked how... We're talking about just overall how I liked it, right?
Yeah.
Making sure I'm not going off topic.
You're fine.
I also really liked how they based it off of him being on drugs and thinking that he was seeing things.
Okay, so you are going ahead. So before we get into the nuance of this episode and the nuances going on with the characters, that was really cool. Let's jump it back. So I like what you said there, the main character, and it's really interesting that you're kind of looking at him as like the Jon Snow of this story, because Jon Snow, just like he's not the main character of Game of Thrones. Nick, I believe is the son's name. Nick is not the main character of this story either. He is the lens through which we first see this story. When we first open on Fear the Walking Dead, we open up on his bloody, like bloodshot eyes because he's drugged out. It could be like a shot of him becoming a zombie. We don't know that, but when we first see him, it's because he's actually on drugs. And he goes downstairs and he sees a crazy scene of blood and messed up bodies, and his newfound girlfriend is just chomping down, having some dinner on some other
Did they say
people.
it was his girlfriend? Or
It was a chick that he was there with.
Yeah.
So
Potentially, or maybe a girlfriend.
or a
Just
flame,
friend,
whatever. Main point being his lover, his girl. She's there eating somebody's face with half her face gone. So what did you think when she first turned around and you see that like half her face is gone and it's like such a real zombie? Because like in Walking Dead they're very decomposed because it's been years.
Exactly, and I think that's another thing. Like this was a little more real.
Joffrey.
Fuck you, Joffrey. We're talking so much Game of Thrones. I liked it. I think that's one main thing in The Walking Dead is that it's too much gore for me. There's so many zombies and so much blood and so much of it that I did like how she was pretty much a human.
Mm-hmm.
I still had flesh and everything like that.
That
So
was really cool.
I actually was surprised that they showed us a zombie that early in the episode.
Me too.
I didn't even think we would get a zombie
Until like way later.
Maybe in the last at the end of the episode.
It's-
Definitely didn't think I'd get it in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because when they first announced that they were doing the spin-off show, the way I pitched it to you to get you to want to watch it, I was like, it's going to be a spin-off. There's not even going to be zombies until probably like the season finale.
Yeah,
I
you
thought
told me
I thought
that.
we would see like how the zombie outbreak started, and then the end of the show we'd see, oh no, that's the first zombie.
Right.
But no, this is totally different take. We actually start the story like in the middle of the outbreak. We have this little fat kid at school who no one wants to believe. He has been paying attention to the internet because he's a little fat kid, of course. He's on the internet, and he knows what's going on. He's been paying attention. He knows that there's been this little outbreak in all these different cities, and this outbreak has been going on when we jump into this story, which I really like. I'm glad they did that. It's the first 3
They
minutes.
gave us just a little bit of taste of zombie that we needed, and it wasn't
Exactly.
too much for me already being not being a Walking Dead fan and
Right.
not a fan of the zombies.
Right. So I went back and I looked. It is the first 3 minutes of the episode when we see our first zombie of this series. So they are saying up front there's going to be zombies here, and by the end of the episode, they show that this is going to be a fun ride of understanding the zombies and so on and so forth. So the other
And them
point,
discovering.
and then discovering zombies. Exactly. So the other. Sorry about that. The other main point I want to make about the beginning of this episode, and then we'll go into some of our favorite stuff, some stuff that we didn't like, and we'll wrap it up really quick here. But the other thing about the beginning I really want to point out here that I haven't heard anyone else say, and that's the fact that when we open, we see that our main character is in this drugged in a trap house or whatever, and he finds his girlfriend eating a face. That's the first zombie. And then throughout the episode, we hear these different hints about how it could be this drug that led to these people becoming zombies. And I just want to kind of highlight, if you're not aware, there is this theory going around the Walking Dead fandom that the outbreak was actually started by Heisenberg's crystal blue persuasion, his meth. And it's just interesting that all this stuff goes down because of drugs. What do you think about that theory? Is that pretty cool?
Yeah, that's really cool.
That'd be an awesome little tie-in for AMC if they really did that.
Now I'm gonna watch it and just pretend that's what happened.
Yeah. So this is a timeline that takes place after.
What was in
Breaking
the
Bad.
episode that made you think there was something you said in the episode?
That made me think that?
Yeah.
Well, it was like I said.
Oh, because of the drugs.
The drugs.
Yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
and they kept on highlighting the fact
And so
that.
you said it's
this
almost
happened.
like they played it just to.
Yeah, just enough for you to have that
You're
thought.
not thinking that's what it is.
Because then Nick says to Cal, which that was a great actor. We first see Cal and he's super nice to his parents.
Yeah,
and
see,
then,
I like him too. He's younger. I like the characters.
That was a really awesome scene, and what happens there is he goes up to Cal and he's like, hey man, what kind of drugs did you give me? Because everyone who had those drugs, they're all zombies now. He doesn't say that, but that's basically what he's implying. So that's just another telltale thing that could be, you know, it could be because of the drugs.
Right.
So that's some really cool stuff I wanted to highlight. The other really cool thing I noticed was from like the first 10 minutes of the episode, if you go back and you watch it, there's some little nuanced stuff there. That's my favorite thing about Walking Dead. Whenever I get a chance to tell people is that what makes the show so great is how it deals in parallels and metaphors all the time. There's lots of little nuance to the show if you're able to get it and appreciate it. And one thing that happened very early on is that very first shot where the camera rises, it says AMC Presents, and it's in the California vista right there. You got the palm trees. And in that shot, you hear helicopters going by. You hear sirens in the background. And that's the first 10 minutes of the episode. And if you notice that, and you go back and you watch it, you'll realize throughout the episode, things are escalating higher and higher and higher until the end when we have our first zombie kill of Fear the Walking Dead. And what do you think of that scene, babe?
Yeah, I liked it. It was, I really liked how, obviously, that was another reason why I was interested in the show. Obviously, the best part about an apocalypse would be whenever you first get to see the first zombie, or you, like, seeing their reactions.
Yeah.
And I loved that. I loved how they just, like, literally kept killing him. They ran him over with the car, ran him over again. And he just, like, his neck turns so slow.
Man,
yeah.
That was so horrific. And like, because he was so he had just died, he's a real person, because of that and the way he came back and his eyes, his haunting eyes, it was
and
really
Nick
horrific.
did such a good job with just being like whenever he came back and he wasn't there and he was like, he's like, oh my god, I really am crazy, like I really am crazy, like that. Like he's not there, and it was great. It was great for the parents to be like, okay.
I guess our son's not crazy. Shit's going down. And then the way they say that last thing, like, what is going on here? I have no idea.
It was a great first episode. I think they did a really good job.
Awesome. I'm really happy to say that.
We'll see.
You ready to go on from here?
Yeah.
Okay. So before we wrap up here, let's give one thing from each of us that we thought they can improve on going forward, and then maybe our final thoughts. So I'll go first. The one thing that I thought was kind of heavy-handed in this episode, and I know it's a pilot, believe me, I get that caveat, but a lot of stuff was really heavy-handed. Like, we first meet Dad, and he's fixing the sink. Oh, he's a handyman. And we meet Mom, and she's cleaning up. She's mad because her daughter, I forgot her daughter's name, she's in the shower taking too long.
Annoying teenager.
It's just, there's a lot of cliches, but it's a pilot. You have to start these characters off somewhere. People have to understand. All the sheep have to understand what's going on. I get it. So that's a little thing. I'm sure it's going to improve from there. What about you? How can they improve?
I can't really think of anything. I just had such an open mind that I took it all in.
Okay.
I heard some reviews. Some people said that they didn't like the whole the drug use, using the drug use as him singing the first episode. But actually, I liked that. I thought it was cool that. I love, I forgot what it's called, but when you know something, but the audience knows and they don't know, and I loved how we knew the whole time that the zombies were real, and everyone else thought that Mick was crazy.
Exactly, and they do that throughout the episode. You have the kid who's sleeping, and he's like, oh, is he a zombie? And then you have the principal who's on the intercom, and the really dramatic music, and it swells, and he's just listening in. So they play with that. I'm sure throughout the entire series, we're going to have lots of examples of them doing that, which I'm excited for. It's going to be fun.
Right.
So yeah, we like The Walking Dead. Give it a grade, babe, a letter grade.
Fear the Walking Dead.
Fear the Walking Dead. So give it a letter grade.
I guess I give it an A.
An A?
Yeah, an A for episode 1.
All right, I'm gonna go with a solid B+ on Fear the Walking Dead pilot. It was really fun. They definitely have a lot of ways to improve from here, and I can see the potential in the show. There's a lot of stuff they can do. So hopefully it's gonna be just as awesome going forward. 5 more episodes, babe. You excited?
Excited.
Can we get some more zombies?
Yes.
Can I eat your face? Nah! Zip it up and zip it out. Hot. Nerd. Hot. Nerd. Whenever she comes on screen, yes, like that was right. Popcorn. Like, I get hot nerd. It's so good.